What up, y'all? What up, y'all? Happy Thursday. All right, we're going to come on live with Katie Jack, my new agent. She has her MBA. She's been in a corporate job for her whole career, and she's now starting real estate in her 30s. Sorry, Katie Jack, I just gave out everybody your age, but it's okay. I'm just really proud of you that you took a leap of faith, change your whole career, and did something that is not based on a salary. That's really hard to do. And so anyway, we're going to have Katie Jack here in a second. So you guys can ask her any questions. Yeah, we're going to get on right now. Here we are. Katie Jack. What's up, Tara? All right, Katie Jack, let's go. What's up?
Putting me on blast already.
Sorry. Look
Yeah.
good. All
Thank you.
dolled
Thank you.
up.
We had an appointment today, so I was
We did
ready.
have an appointment, and they rescheduled for January.
Yeah.
So Tara says, "What's up?" We got somebody on the team watching us.
Hey, Tara.
We got Realtor Trevor Flood on, Morero, Eric, and Nicole Real Estate. What's up? Ruya is on as well. What's up, Ruya? Anna Tapor Real Estate. All right. So we got some people watching us. Katie Jack just joined the team earlier this month. She is my latest addition to the quickly growing Paul Salazar group. I met Katie 2 months ago. She had a really strong resume, no experience at all in real estate, but she had a really strong resume. I'm gonna let her talk about her resume. But what I wanted to say is that I was really impressed with her, and I had a choice to make because I didn't want to go. I didn't want to have more than two agents on my team at the time, and so I had to figure out, okay, Katie Jack is still at her job. She doesn't have to, get a new position right now. So I said, hey, do you mind joining us in December? So I was able to get both agents because they're both really good. And so now I have a team of four. So super excited about that. Katie Jack, welcome.
Thank you. This is my first one, so I
Thanks.
am excited.
Thank you for coming on live. I really appreciate it. So tell us about your story. Like, give us a little quick background about your story.
Yeah. I guess I would start by just saying that I always wanted to be in real estate. As a high schooler, I loved real estate. I always wanted to go through open houses. Being a stubborn teenager, I told my dad, why do I need to go to college? I just want to go into real estate. I don't need my degree for that.
That would have been
And
smart.
well, and so then he, kind of pursued, you know, encouraging me to go to college, which I probably honestly would have done anyways. But when I got my undergraduate degree, it was kind of a really hard time to find a job. It was kind of when the market was crashing. And so I just decided to go straight into my MBA program and get a master's because I figured if I'm already doing school, I might as well just kind of continue and go that next step. So there were only two schools in California that would let you complete the program in a year. And I was just like on the fast track to getting it done. And so I ended up going to San Diego State, getting my MBA. And so by the time I was 23, I had a master's and an undergraduate degree in marketing.
Oh, I didn't know
Um,
that. That was all, you got
yeah,
the MBA in a year?
I did. Yeah,
That's
it was.
quick.
I had to get like written permission to be able to do it, and it was the thing. But
Nice.
it was all good. Yeah, I learned a lot. Typically, they want you to kind of do it on a slower pace and do it as you're working. So I was kind of on the younger end of the scale, which was great. I came out and had a lot of knowledge, but I didn't have any real life experience. And so had a little bit of a hard time finding a job right away. And then found a startup that was really cool. I started working for these guys that started in veterinary education. They were kind of helping them pass their board exams, kind of like a Kaplan type program, but for
Yeah.
really niche markets. And so I started working with them, and they're just very entrepreneurial in spirit. And so we started building other products for optometry, vet tech, and kind of all different things. And I started as the first employee. So I was the operations manager, kind of building these new products, doing, everything that needed to be done,
Awesome.
kind of our Maggie, if you will.
Yeah, yeah, for
And
sure.
yeah, yeah. And so then as we grew, we obviously added more people to our team. I did a bunch of hiring, kind of my role evolved, and then I ended up working in the optometry space as we got bigger so that I could really focus on the sales over there. So I've been working with optometry students for a while. You know, like I said, it covered all kinds of different things. So there were different points of the career where I would go to Europe or down to the Caribbean, give sales presentations to the
Oh, I
students.
didn't know that.
Yeah, it was really cool. I got to
That sounds
travel
like
quite a
fun.
bit. I've seen a lot of places from just working. And so that
Oh,
was pretty cool.
cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I just, you know, at this point, we've had a lot of downtime for COVID, and I kind of just thought, you know, this is something I've always wanted to do. I don't want to look back years from now and wish that I would have tried something new, something that I've wanted to do. And
Yeah.
so I thought, you know what? At the very least, I'm just going to get my license. And so I started there. And then as I got into it, I was like, this is something I really, really enjoy. You know, taking different courses, watching webinars, doing everything I could to learn something new every day. And so that's when you know that it's something that you want to do and something that you don't have to do.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, and so, you know, as I kind of decided, okay, let's move forward with this, I had a couple of things that I really wanted. My end goal was, you know, I want to be on a team. I want to learn from somebody. I also want to, you know, really be in the luxury market and at a
Yeah.
boutique firm or, you know, a high-end firm.
Mhm.
And I knew that that was probably something that was going to take a couple years to get to, and I was willing to do that. But, you know, that was my ideal grand goal, that if I could get these things, this would be exactly what I wanted.
That was
And
your
then
vision.
lo and behold, you know, spent some time looking, you know, talked to a bunch of people, all really cool people, but just not the right fit. And then I met you and Maggie, and this was like exactly what I was looking for. So we've got you who wants to mentor, which is so important, especially as a new agent. You know, we've got a team, which is really incredible. Everybody can help each other, learn from each other. We obviously work for an amazing brokerage, which is huge and something that, you know, a lot of people would love to do. And
Yeah.
so I was so excited to join this team because this is just everything that I wanted, and everyone is so amazing.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're, you know, that's an amazing story. And, you know, like I said, I think, you know, right out of college, I knew I didn't want to have a 9 to 5. I think it's in my blood, you know, it's like that, like Colombian entrepreneurship, you know, like my dad's entrepreneur, all my brothers are entrepreneurs. Um, and my mom as well. So growing up, it's like everybody had their own schedule. Nobody had to be had a boss or anything. So it's like having a boss at
Yeah.
9 to 5 was really hard to do. Even though I was on a team before with Chad, and I was, you know, he was kind of like my boss in a way for a long time, but still had the freedom to do what I kind of wanted to do.
Yeah.
So, and I know it's, you know, obviously you're probably making some really good money at this company that you've helped build, right? And like leaving that is not easy. You know, it's really, really hard to leave a secure. Every 2 weeks you're getting a check in the mail, or you know, straight to your bank account, and now you have to go and kind of fend for yourself, right?
Yeah.
So
I
that's
think yeah, I think with all the TV shows, everybody wants to be a real estate agent right now, especially in LA. And
yeah,
so everyone sees the glamorous side of it, but like something that new people should know is that there are a lot of like startup costs. You know, this is not something that you can just jump right into and not have kind of a backup before you get started.
yeah.
And obviously that varies from state to state, and it depends on where you work, but especially in the LA market, you really need to have some money saved up and you know, try to
You have
get
to
in
have
the
a
door
lot
and
of
get
money saved up.
experience.
You have to have a lot of money. You really have to have a plan to not make any money for at least 3 months, you know,
Hmm.
and then from there you can build up little by little. But even then, even like your first year, I mean, you can do well. Like don't get me wrong, but it's always good to kind of plan for the worst. That way you're not under a lot of stress, because the last thing you want to do is leave a nice cushy, you know, salary job and then go into, oh, Katie, I think I'm losing you there. Katie, you there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can now. You were
Oh no,
frozen
for
for
a
a bit.
second.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, you know, you tell me about that. Like, what was the scariest part for you to say, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go all in. Like, what did that look like? Because a lot of people here watching are in your same shoes, and they love real estate, but they're like, fuck, like, how do I get into real estate? And also, you're in the luxury market, which is super, super competitive, right? So on top of that, it's like a few different scenarios there, right? So what was that process like? Give me some like details on like, all right, like what was that switch, or how much you have to save, or give us like a
Yeah.
overview.
I mean, I think it's still scary at this point, right? Because, this is just the beginning stages.
Yeah.
But,
The first 3
you
weeks.
know, something that people have to realize is that it's not just your salary, it's your benefits, it's any retirement packages that
True.
you have. Maybe you have stock options. So
That's
all of that is going to contribute to what you need to be able to kind of accommodate for yourself as you go into financial planning, whatever your situation looks like. And
yeah.
so you have to think about that. And obviously, like, people see the commissions that you make off of real estate. Well, there's different cuts that get taken out of that, taxes,
Yeah.
of course, that get taken out of that. So you really have to go in with a plan. It's not something that you can just kind of go at a whim. And
Sure.
I think that's something that maybe, people don't realize as much when they're getting started.
I agree. I mean, you're really running your own business. Even on a team, you're running your own business. You have to get up and do stuff. If you're not in action, then you're not going to get paid. And even if you're in action, it doesn't say that you're going to get paid, right? You got
Yeah.
to be in action, and you got to get also a little bit lucky, and you got to put in the work. You got to do things that are difficult. One of the things that really stuck to me after interviewing Katie was that part of my interview process, and I have a pretty long process, which is why I feel that I always hire good people, because it's like if they're going to get through these 4 steps to be a real estate agent, it's like, all right, they really want the job, right? But one of them was, she came to the office and I asked her a few questions, and we did some role playing. And I remember after that, after Katie Jack left, I was like, shit, that was really, really good. Like, I asked you a couple questions and you really role played really well with me. And this morning, when me and you role played for the first time on the phone, you were just like a natural. Like, I know you're gonna kill it. So I'm super excited to have you start, getting on the phone, because I know that I'm gonna get a Slack message like, I just booked an appointment. So I'm
Well,
excited for that.
thank you. I
Yeah.
will say I left the office not confident. I was like, oh, I want this job so bad. And I didn't feel like I did well enough because,
Oh, really?
on the car ride home, you're thinking, oh, I wish I would have said this. I wish I would have done that, because you kind of
Yeah.
have the time to process it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you learn something new every day. You just get better at it as it goes
Yeah.
along.
For sure, for sure. So obviously you've only been doing this for a couple weeks now. What are some things that have you seen that are like eye-opening or difficult, or some things that you just didn't expect? Not a long time, but still, like what are some things?
Not even that I didn't expect, but things that pretty much all the things that concern real estate and getting started are all things that I'm super uncomfortable with and have to get out of my comfort zone to
Oh
do.
yeah, for sure.
Cold calling, knocking on doors, Instagram live, videos. None of
Yeah,
that stuff is stuff that I do on a daily basis.
that's true.
So, it's all new, and it's, stuff that maybe a lot of people don't really like, but you just kind of have to put yourself out there. And the start is a little rocky, and then you'll look back
Yeah.
years later and be like, oh my gosh, I've gotten so much better.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like I don't even think about those things because I've done them over the last couple of years, and like if you would have asked me 2 or 3 years ago, I'd be like, I'm not doing IG live. I'm not gonna go on video. I'm not gonna door knock. I'm not gonna cold call. I didn't do any of that shit.
Yeah.
I just started 2 years ago. So I am really impressed with you guys, because you guys are just like you listen to me and you do it, and you just do it. I'm just like, wow, that's great. You guys are great. You're very coachable, right? Katie, Jack, and I went door knocking the other night, and we did like maybe, I don't know, 30 or 40 houses. I'm like, are you ready to go on your own? She's like, yes. I love it. You just did it, right? And it's just you just got to go out there and start learning. But the fact that you're able to get out of your comfort zone just means a lot, because that just showing you that you can do whatever you want, right? Because if we get up in the morning and we do something uncomfortable every single day, we're going to do some really challenging things in our career, right? So you still have a lot to grow, but just by doing those, like I didn't even realize, you're right, like door knocking, cold calling, IG live, getting on video, like all that within 2 weeks. That's a lot, you know?
Yeah, and social media is such a huge part of the business. And so if you're not savvy in that, and I wouldn't even say that I wasn't savvy, but I wasn't actively using it. There's so many different algorithms and different things that you can do. It's just such a big part of the business these days. And
Yeah,
so, even if you are good in one of those areas, there's something that you're going to be uncomfortable with and something that you have to learn.
yeah,
So lots
for
of
sure.
different aspects going on.
Yeah. So, hey guys, if you guys have any questions, let us know. Victor Larson, what's up? One Stop Insurance Shop. That's a catchy name. What's up? Quando Money. I don't know how you pronounce that. If you guys have any questions for Katie Jack, again, she just started on my team a few weeks ago. Brand new agent, and straight to Hilton and Hyland in Beverly Hills. and I feel like she's had a really fun time. I think the first day she started, meeting the team, we had a happy hour, and then a week later we had the Hilton Hyland party. We're gonna have the Paul Salazar group party next week, so she's having some fun. She got on the team at the right time, I would say. It's always good to have you on the team, Katie Jack. I think you bring a different kind of experience, and you also like a different kind of maturity too. Because like you've been in a job for such a long time, and different types of things, right? So you can help the team do certain things, and they can help you do certain things. And I think that's what I love the most about having a team, is that we're all here to help each other out, right? And to be competitive and see who's going to be the best, right? But in a fun way, not in a way of like, oh, I don't, I want this person to do bad, right? It's more like I want everybody to strive, but I also want to be the best, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the cool thing is that as we grow and as everybody does better, the team does better, right? The team
Yes.
gets more exposure, the team gets
Yes.
more, respect. And so we all want to do good. We want each other to do well. And
Yes.
also, as they progress, they're going to learn new things that they can teach us. So it's really
Yeah.
cool because I feel like we have a really strong group
Yeah.
of people who not only want to do well themselves, but want the team to do well, which is hard to
Yeah.
find.
Agreed. And I remember at the holiday party at Hilton Hyland, you said, I want to be at the top next year. I'm like, yes, I love that. I love it. So
Yeah, I
I
mean,
was
it's
like, that's great.
intimidating, right? You go in that room and there's a lot of really successful people who have done amazing numbers,
Amazing.
amazing things. Yeah, and they've been
Yeah.
in the industry for forever. And so
Yeah.
going in there, I have $0 in sales and I don't want to be that person next year. I want to be
Yeah.
a competitor in the firm.
Yeah.
So,
I love that. I
yeah,
love
it's
it. And we will
something to
get
work
there for
towards.
sure.
Yeah.
We will get there for sure. All right. So Realtor Trevor Flood says best FISBO source. So FISBO is for sale by owner. Katie Jack has not called any FISBOs yet, but she will soon. So we use Vulcan 7 for our expired cancels and for sale by owners. We think that's a great system to get people's contact information, and they also have like a dialer too, so we can just use their dialer to make a lot of phone calls instead of having to go on our phone and dial everybody's number. So that's what we use. I use Mojo Dialer because it's a three line dialer. I think sooner or later, these girls are gonna have to use the 3-line dialer, which is calling 3 people at once. So it's a little more intimidating, but you get a lot more done, a lot more conversations. So, I think you with your business background, you probably understand this more than anybody else. So, 2 years ago, I didn't have a business plan because I didn't know how to do one in real estate. Like, what does that look like, right? But because of Tom Ferry and the way he kind of structures his whole coaching program, everything is based on numbers, which is what I love, right? So I'm telling all the girls, I'm saying 50 conversations will give you one deal, right? So if you talk to 50 people, which if you talk to 25 new people every single week, that's 5 people per day. So every 2 weeks you should have one new deal, which is a lot. So you can have 2 deals a month, and based on the average price of your sell, then you can really understand what your income is going to be at the end of the year. So the way we run our team is very it's all based on numbers, and it's all based on KPIs, key performance indicators. So that would be how many calls you make, how many hours you're doing, how many open houses. And at the end of the day, it's all about conversations, right? So you do all those things, but you really want to have a lot of conversations, which will lead to deals. Every deal starts with a conversation. And then from there, you book an appointment, and then hopefully they'll sign with you, and then you can sell their house or help them buy a house, right? Um,
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that long-term relationships are what you're going for because you can have conversations and those are not going to lead anywhere right now,
yeah,
but it might be something that's helpful a year down the road, 2 years down the road. So just because it's not, instant gratification, it's something that, it doesn't mean it's not building your business, right?
100%. It always takes time to build any business, right? So you're just kind of planting the seeds right now, and there's top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel, right? So the top of funnel leads are going to be 12 to 16 months, maybe a little bit more, 12 to 18 months, a little bit more, and then middle funnel is 6 to 12 months, and then bottom of funnel is now to 6 months. Like basically, they want to get something now. right? So if you have a bunch of top of funnel clients, then you're not going to get paid for another year and a half. If you have a mix of clients, then you're always having deals come in, right? So that's the idea, is that don't say no to any conversation. Just keep following up with them. And we have systems for that. We have a CRM that you can add tasks and all kinds of stuff on there. And same with Vulcan, right? So, you know, I'm teaching them what I've been taught with Tom Ferry. And, you know, I want every single one of my agents to be so powerful that in 4 or 5 years from now, they're going to go on their own and do their own thing, you know? So I'm just really excited for their growth. And yeah, I mean, anything else you want to say, Katie Jack? Any other words of advice for new agents looking to either build their business, or either, because a lot of people ask me, do I join a team, or how do I get into the luxury market? I mean, you did exactly what I tell everybody, right? Is look for a team and a good brokerage that has good, you know, that sell property, right? If I wasn't selling any property, you're probably not going to be like interviewing with me. Plus, why would I be growing a team if I'm not selling any properties, right?
So I will say something that I would recommend for people who are looking to join a team, maybe you're newer. Things that really drew me to your team and what I was looking for is, one, the interview process was lengthy. I liked that because I felt like you were really looking for the right fit, versus some of the other people that I talked to, they would take anybody, and it was more of a numbers game, right? And so you don't feel that there's any exclusivity into getting into that. And so I liked the fact that I was like, okay, he's really putting the time into finding the right people. And that means that you're probably going to be more successful and have more mentorship and that sort of thing. And then the other thing that I really liked is that your business practices, your tools that you're using are, you know, really getting your business organized. And I think it kind of, you alluded to that, is that a lot of people who go into business that maybe didn't go to business school don't know how to run a business. And that's very common, right?
Yeah.
But if you don't put processes in place, tools in place, it's just going to be a mess. And so the things that you use, like Trello, and we have so many tools, but that really makes the business way more successful and way more organized, which obviously is going to lead to, you know, good results in the long term.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I'm kind of learning right now. Like, I've never been this busy in my entire career, you know. You know, I still haven't been able to like really focus on my calls. I really want to make sure that you guys are in a good spot to really thrive. So I'm really putting a lot of focus right now into you know, doing more video content for you guys, in terms of like every single part of that transaction process. There's so many different parts and so many things that you will never know unless you go through them. But why go through them, and why avoid or, you know, why go through a mistake if I can kind of, you know, teach you? And this is what I'm here for, right? So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm shooting a lot of video. Like, I just finished with like Maggie, like a whole hour of shooting just like quick little videos, like the importance of inspections, when to schedule inspections, you know, how to email your clients about inspections, like all these small little things that I just kind of learned over the years, so that if they're in a video and they're in like a workflow, now your new agents can just go and click on the videos, and they don't have to be asking you every single time. So now I'm creating processes to scale. I'm not looking to scale anytime soon, because I scale from 0 to 4 in like a month. But you know, in the next year, probably at the end of next year, I'll probably want another 2 agents on the team. But I also want just more structure, so more people helping you guys out, making sure that you guys are in a position to thrive. Because if you're thriving, then I'm thriving. So, and I know that you know that more than anything else, because you help grow a business. So, you know, I'm going to be looking to you as well to be like, hey, like, you have any ideas, any thoughts? You know, I'm always ears. You know, I'm always open to any suggestions on getting better, right? So, you know, I haven't told you that, but now I'm telling you, if you have any suggestions, I'm always open, right?
Awesome.
To learn, because you built a team, or you built a company from nothing until, you know, you guys sold the company, right?
They did sell last year, yeah. So
That's amazing. Do you mind telling us what is it, undisclosed, or?
they're owned by a private equity firm now.
Oh, they
So
are.
yeah, so they're still in the same business, but
Okay.
have added more companies to it, and they're continuously doing more and more acquisitions. And so,
Okay.
yeah, there's a lot going on there.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
if you guys have any questions for Katie Jack, please let us know. Her last name is Jack, but Katie Jack just sounds really, really nice.
It's
So
very catchy.
it is very catchy, yeah, for sure. If you guys have any questions for Katie Jack, like I said, she's brand new to the business, and she's joined our team. I think it's very smart of her to join our team because we're going to give her a lot of coaching, a lot of mentorship. Plus, I feel like our team is just like we're just at least for now we're just like jiving really really well, which is so fun and so awesome. I didn't even think that this was even possible, to be honest. And there's no reason why I only hired women. It just these are like the best candidates. These are really the best candidates out there for what I was looking for. And that just shows you that, like, you know, women are very, very powerful. And that's why there's a lot of successful, you know, women real estate agents, right? You know, this year, I think one of our top agents at the office is Linda May. She's been in the business for a long, long time, but I think she sold like $400 million in real estate. Just
Wow.
her and one other agent, you know, that's insane. That's insane. I mean, she sells big properties, you know, 30, 40, 50,
Yeah.
50, 70, $80 million properties. So that helps her get to that number, but still she's a boss, right? And Tara says, amen, brother.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think our team is really strong. Everybody has different qualities that they're bringing to the table, but everybody is really bringing something that makes our team stronger. So I think we have a really strong core, which is
yeah, for
awesome.
sure, for sure. All right, the 615 realtor asks, what are the three best ways to get leads clients? I have been in real estate for 1 year now. I'm still learning. All tips are appreciated. Honestly, I think the best thing you can do is door knocking because you're face to face with people. So door knocking to me is probably the best use of your time. It's a lot of effort. So like I'm going to be trying to do it next year every single week, once a day, for at least 2 hours. The second best for me is calling expired, cancels. Third is probably open houses. Fourth is probably circle dialing. And then you got networking, you got a bunch of other things as well that like you can throw in there. But you always want to have at least four different categories of business. So if you're gonna do door knocking, you know, once a week, that could be like one whole thing for you, like one whole lead pillar for you. You have your geographic farm, that could be another one. Your expired and cancel listing, that's another one. Open houses, that's another one, right? So you always want to have at least four different types of areas where leads are coming through. You don't want to have just one, because if you have one and something happens to those clients or that lead generation, then you have no business. So you really want to get business from a lot of different sources. All right, y'all. It is 5:30. It's time for me to jam. Katie Jack, thank you so much for being on. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you
And
for having me.
yes, and I will see you next week at the Paul Salazar group. Actually, I'll see you tomorrow if you can. I haven't told the team yet, but I'm gonna ask you door knocking tomorrow from 3 to 5 if you can make it in the same area in Mar Vista.
Cool.
All right,
Awesome.
good. I'll see you in my
All right. Bye.
bye, Katie Jack. See ya.